Yeah, man. Greetings, Rastafari, Haile Emperor, the King Selassie, the first, the perfect balance, Empress Menin. This is first man for Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rastafari, speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Blessed love, this is Rashala representing for the Lion Voice. Seeing? Yeah, man. Keep it locked right there, sir. On to Zion we go. Lion Voice don't move slow, no. Rastafari rules and reigns, and we're going where the blessings flow. Keep it locked right there, sir. Seeing? Rashala said that. Lion's Voice.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Greetings, this is Junior Morgan of Bob Marley and the Wailers. The time has come for the lion to tell his story. And we have here the lion voice. So listen in and get nourishment for the stomach and for the head cup. Jah,
Rastafari. Give thanks.
Give thanks and praise every time.
Great honor, great honor.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
It's AWTITUDE representing for Lion's Voice. Yes, massive. This is the time for I and I, the lion, them to tell I and I story, our story. Yes, and we reign and rule like this. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, I reign and rule. You can't take the lion vibes, people. If you no fool, cause we know Selassie reign and rule. Reign and rule. Selassie, I reign and rule. Queen Omega drop them in the fire, pull from them, no Queen Omega, she reign and rule. Royal Kushite, ancient essence, Emperor Selassie in a majestical presence, flash of all sevens, projecting through I and I events. We sing a song for the king, we bring joy and blessing and overstanding, yeah. We hear Jah every day, hey. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, reign and rule. Yes, I lion vibes, Selassie, reign and rule. Attitude say that Boondocks, Black Organization of Global Diplomats optimizing expressions to the world. Till the world, till the end.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about Empress Menin. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me now but think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you in my love. And even when the people start mal, when they see their city streets them flood, when the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me not budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people. Maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka DejazmatchKwasi, aka Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Voice Live. Welcome to Lion Voice Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network as we celebrate the first Lion Voice for the Roman calendar year 2026. Welcome. A new Roman calendar year is here. We're still rolling in Ethiopian 2018 calendar year, and we can see things are heating up on the geopolitical chessboard. US invasion of Venezuela happened in the morning this morning. We have Wooly to talk about, but today we also just want to talk about where we're going with this whole movement, with this channel, with this network, and with the Lion Pride. We're growing, and we give thanks for each and every one of the items who have been part of the journey. As Babylon collapses, as Zion arises, as I and I come together from near and far, in the midst of that, this platform is emerging as one of the most important platforms where people are now turning to get high-level, high-frequency Rastafari and Pan-African reasoning. And I'm going to talk about 10 things that we're going to be looking at in this new year as we move forward. And it's going to get more inclusive. In the comments, I want the item to just let us know where you're watching from, and then also what the item want to see. We've had this reasoning with our Lion Pride on Patreon. We had a monumental end of the year wrap-up town hall meeting for the Lion Pride on Patreon with our special guest, Brother Junior from I Never Knew TV, the founder, who gave a master class on content creation, building your own platform, branding. Master class is available right now for the Lion Pride on Patreon. And Remember, you can join the Lion Pride on Patreon for free. Just go to Patreon and sign up. But we do uh, definitely want your strength. So before I get into today's episode, we're going to talk about 10 things that we're going to be focused on for the channel, and we're going to talk about the US invasion of Venezuela. What are the implications? And remember, probably the first place that any reasoning on a wide scale within the Rastafari family took place was here on this platform. We had a panel of brethren and sisters from Trinidad about the impending US invasion. Now the invasion has happened. So we're definitely going to circle forward with the Trinidad family. Right now, they arrested the president. Maduro was arrested, taken into captivity, some explosions. We don't know the fullness. We don't know. I've seen sounds where the vice president is calling for mobilization. But Donald Trump came out today and said that US will be running the country, rebuilding the oil infrastructure. So it's, the fog of war. We don't really know what's happening. But remember that Venezuela is just off of the coast of Trinidad. We have Rastafari family in Venezuela. I just learned about that. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to get a link to some of the Rastas on the ground in Venezuela so we can reason if it's possible. So, we are, as Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, taking this role that we have been given by the Most High very serious and trying to get not just the everyday content, where we talk to an artist or we talk about a reggae show or we have some theology debate. We want to talk about real things that matter to the community. How are we going to eat? How are we going to support ourselves when the shipping crashes? If we're saying that Babylon crashes, do we have a sovereign system among ourselves that we can sustain while Babylon fails? Or are we depending on the same Babylon supply chain to support us? These are the hard questions on this platform. So we're not going to go viral. We're as fast, we're not going to be talking about things that are going to make us cool and all of things. This is a lava ground right here. So give thanks for the ones them who have been following the journey, who lock in from early. We expect more people as things get worse out the road. More people will rally looking for that source, and we knew that when we built this channel that it was going to not be an easy road, the road that we were taking, but we have faith and we were called to do this work as a calling, and so we had no choice but to rise up the Lion Voice Network to feed the root, the Pan-African root, the black root of the movement, because we saw that this was being neglected at this level, and we saw that we had the competence, the network to execute the work. And so we put our shoulder to the wheel. 4 years later, we are almost at 60,000 strong in the Lion Pride, the global Lion Pride. So big up on yourself. Big up the greatest online community on the planet. Anybody who is watching this, you are greatness in motion. And if you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. And make sure you check your YouTube call. YouTube has been unsubscribing people, allegedly, from conscious platforms. So make sure you always check that you're still subscribed, and you're doing what you can do. You know what I mean? Big up Grassroots coming in with a big lava ground, $20 super chat. Big up yourself, Grassroots. Lion Pride out of Murray, Kentucky. Big up for the first live for the Gregorian year. Yes. Big up to the Lion Pride on Patreon. Grassroots is part of our Lion Pride on Patreon, so big him up for the contribution, consistent contribution for the brethren has been sharing with I and I. We really give thanks for all the ones them who make it possible for I and I to be here doing what we do. The goal is to be doing this full time, to hire a staff, to have a full budget to run a full-time production network. And The model that we've chosen is to do it independent, meaning that audience crowdfunding is the only way to be truly independent. Once you depend on sponsors, that means you're depending on major dollars. That means that when the sponsors talk, you have to respond because that's your budget. If we depend on our audience to fund us, then the audience dictates, what the audience wants to see runs the show, which means we get the chance to deliver authentic content. So big up all of the audience members out there that have been seeing the vision and that have been supporting financially. I love the love. I love the likes. I love all of the ways that the ones support, the ones who share. But the financial really means a lot because I'm at the point now where I need an editor. I need to hire an editor. I'm doing all the editing, but to put out the programming, we have so much footage from Ghana. Still, we have not put it out. The Road to Heaven on Earth series. I'm working on the 3rd episode. But then we have youths, we have a wife, we have full-time employment, and then we're doing this. So, with your support, though, we can scale this beautiful community that we've created, and we can make it better. Because I want it to be better. I know that the item love it, but as the creator, I want it to be better. I want to be able to travel. But we're going to get into that when I talk about the focus. I just want to big up the Lion Pride. We just welcomed 2 new members, Jayut and Brother Jabali. Brother Jabali was at our December town hall meeting. He said he joined because he saw the caliber of guests that we were bringing in with Brother Junior from I Never Knew TV. And big up everyone who knows of this platform because of I Never Knew TV. I've done a few appearances. I have some new content dropping over there in the new year as well. So look out for that. Big up I Never Knew TV family. But big up and welcome to our new Lion Pride on Patreon members. We have 45 people who have become monthly subscribers. We've just been hovering at that 45. And I have to come to the family and say, once again, January morning, I have failed to reach a goal that I set for myself. And yeah, them see what failure looks like. I'm not here crying and pouting. We're still putting our shoulder to the wheel and we're moving forward. So I want to be an example to our brethren and to our sisters that when you seek your purpose and you are fulfilling your purpose, failure is going to be part of the journey. You're not going to achieve everything. And what am I talking about? 2 years ago, we set out to have 100 people in the Patreon at least. The goal is 1,000 to create a mature ecosystem, to really say you're full-time, after you take away your expenses and everything and pay yourself, hire someone, 1,000 at least you want in the Patreon. We're at 45, so we're way below what we need to sustain. But it takes long to build that trust, and with Rastafari, we don't have a history of supporting media. These are groundbreaking things that we're doing. We've never gone into this space like this with this type of model, with this type of vision. So we understand it's going to take some time, you know what I mean? So we definitely give thanks for the item, strength in terms of supporting the Iowa. But now we're going to go into Ubuntu, Lion Pride. Big up all the Ubuntu, big up the Watch and Peep, all of the ones them, you know what I mean? It's such a joy. It's such a joy. All right. Let me just take a sip of water. We have the IDOR study group today, 7 p.m. Right after this, I share the link in Patreon. You can go over to join the Patreon and you'll have the Zoom link for IDOR. Ramia King Design, big up yourself, Russellage. If you're just joining us, we're talking about vision for the platform in 2026. This is our first broadcast for the year. We're also going to talk about the US invasion of Venezuela. historic invasion. I called that World War III had started, and a lot of people. I got a little pushback. I'm going to be honest with you, Ida. I got some pushback when I said World War III had started. But now I think ones are starting to see. When we say World War III, it doesn't necessarily mean a hot war all over. If you look at all of the world wars, started in different theaters, different smaller um, outpourings, outbursts, you know what I mean? So, what you see happening now with strategic, and I like to call it the global chessboard, geopolitical chessboard. As Rastafari, Judah is the lawgiver. So I and I have to be aware of the geopolitics of creation. I and I have to know what's happening around us so that we know how to move our families. Are you in a hot piece of the chessboard that you need to, if you can, relocate or think about relocate? I mean, part of the whole impetus historically for repatriation was Revelation chapter 18 for the ones who did go biblical. Come out of her, my people, lest ye be partakers in her sins and share in her plagues. Revelation 18 was a seminal marker for the early ones, and we had Bongo Jerry Small. That full episode is now available exclusively on Patreon. I'm putting up an edited version by tomorrow. We'll have an edited version up for the global family. We have to take out some of the hot parts because YouTube, the censorship, and the monetization is very serious. So you look out certain songs, them demonetize your channel. You can't make no money from your channel. And for I and I, we're on YouTube and these platforms. Part of the reason is monetization, or we'd go on our own website and we wouldn't go through these major platforms. So we can't lick out certain sound against Babylon. That's just the platform that we're on. But we do have the Patreon where we can have the uncensored community and we can speak freely. And that's the beauty of this modern era. We work around the system. We use the tools provided until we build our own tools. Reason with a brethren, he was telling he got a tutorial on how to build his own server. So he's working on building his own server. And servers, for those that the item who don't know, are the hard drives that save all of the data. Right now we're using YouTube server. But the idea is that Rastafari need we own satellites, we own servers, we own part of the internet that we run, that nobody can tell us censor we or shut we down when we want to talk. When we talk about this concept of sovereign or sovereignty, we broke down the difference between de jure and de facto sovereignty. I and I seeking that de facto sovereignty as Rastafari, that we can sustain ourselves in any kind of way. So, when we're talking about certain things, we need to know how the chessboard is being played so we know, for example, I'm in Washington, D.C., If I don't watch, this can be a flashpoint. I have 2 teenage children, I don't want to be in a war zone, so I need to know what's happening, what's coming, so I can move out if we need to move out quickly and early before you're in a place where the city lockdown, you cannot move. And this is kind of thing is happening. Think about the people in Caracas right now. You wake up, you look down the road, and explosion, you're in a war zone. You wake up in a war zone. You are in a geopolitical flashpoint. So we don't have the luxury anymore, especially as brethren, to just be happy-go-lucky out here and you're not watching the news to see what's really happening. And when I say news, I'm not talking about mainstream. We watch the independent news. We take a little double of the mainstream if you know what they will tell the people to. Because we watch all of those things just to see, where they are in their narrative to the general population. I watch Fox, NBC, all of them things there, just to see what they're telling the two sided. So when you go out in space and networking, don't touch that point there. Don't touch that point there. That's a key in diplomacy, because diplomacy is about finding the common ground and we build from there. I don't need to argue with you about that, especially I know you're not informed fully because you only watch this source of news or you only watch that source of news. So I don't need to argue the man. My job is not to educate a man on the road. You know, I provide the education through this platform, and so I fulfill my education quota. My job when I'm out on the road and reason with people is to build bridges, find resources, and to build up what we are trying to build both individually and collectively. Um, that is really how I and I need to be moving. So the geopolitics is key. US invasion of Venezuela um, is right, touchable today. We still are in the fog of war. We will do a little rundown. If you want to participate in this reasoning in the comments, you want to share any breaking news, this is the platform. I do have a hard stop of 7 p.m. because today we do have the IDOR study group. So we're going to keep it to about a half an hour um, for this show. 7 o'clock, we have to sign off for the IDOR study group. But we did post the IDOR study group link in our Patreon. You can join the Patreon for free. And you can get that access to the link. We studied the selected speeches of His Imperial Majesty. International gathering ones from all over creation are there. We break it down, we go on Google, we look, we search for things, and so it's a very airy vibration. But it's these kind of things that we need to be doing right now to sharpen our sword. Right now, your sword off is sharp right now in a Babylon. No, it's not no hip skip and loosey goosey, happy go lucky. You name the term. This is not that time, family. You know what I mean? Big up my Jamaica family, RMO family, who has been doing the work for relief. Hurricane Melissa. An excellent session just took place in Montego Bay with the mapping, historic training to undertake some mapping of the community and finally documenting our community the right way, knowing who is missing a roof, who needs food, who's food insecure, and having actual data because we have a massive webathon fundraiser coming up and we cannot do that without proper data. We can't serve the population. So that's coming up. So massive respect to my RMO Jamaica family. But this platform, before I get into the US Venezuela, let me talk about the Lion Voice Network. Let's be real, people. We have a vision for 2026, and I'm asking all of the items to help us to achieve this vision. The vision is that we want to be full-time doing this work this year. You know what I mean? We can do it as a family. I'm not leaving the law. I still do legal advisement, serve as a legal advisor to RMO. I'm on the board of several nonprofits, giving legal type of instruction. But I am pivoting into this media space fully because we need it. We really need to have our voices be heard. Also, the elders are leaving this plane. We have some foundational elders that are out there who generations don't know about. I had the pleasure of being able to sit at the feet of many powerful elders and Aishans. And I realize most of the young brethren and sisters coming up today don't have that. Give thanks for the Lion Voice Network. I've gotten a lot of messages from one saying that they're able to gain so much knowledge just listening to the stories and the testimonies of ones from all over the earth, elders that they would have never encountered in their day-to-day. They're able to sip up the knowledge on this platform. So that is one of the things why I'm being so urgent in terms of being full-time in this work, being able to travel. Because some of the elders, we can, sometimes you see the Wi-Fi issue. We're trying to bring elders in. They don't understand how to use the phone. We need to go and visit these elders, with some nice camera equipment and film them in their own environment. And that's one of the things we want to do for the new year here. But number one, we want to get to 50 people in Patreon. We're at 45. We have a raffle right now for the next 23 people who join. It was 25 people. 2 people have joined since then. The next 23 people will be entered into a raffle to get a signed copy of my book, whole package, Lionel Judah jacket donated by the great Johnny Johnson, who was in the comments. Big up yourself, our elder Johnny Johnson, who has been such a strength. If you haven't seen his episode, we interviewed Johnny Johnson, medical doctor, also ordained in the Ethiopian Orthodox as a priest as well. A wealth of knowledge, travels the whole world, and he's always dropping gems in the comment section of these live videos. So he has donated Lionel Judah jacket, and we have that. So the next 23 people will be eligible. We'll have a raffle on air to pick who will win, and then we'll ship it out to the island. So definitely join the Patreon, become part of our family. Every month we have town hall meetings. You get to network with like-minded people. All nations. We just met a brethren from Australia, white brethren too, European brethren from Australia, member of the Lion Pride on Patreon, who works in the food industry. So we don't discriminate in the Patreon. Any nation, kindred and tongue, you're welcome. As long as you know we are a Pan-African platform. We are centering Black African voices on this platform. And we're not apologizing. We're not compromising. We're not easing up. You know what I mean? But we'll take support from all goodwill, because His Majesty showed us with Sylvia Pankhurst, Edward Ullendorf, you know what I mean, that all nations serve His Majesty and help him to build. And this is His Majesty govern this channel. So we work off of the same principle. So don't feel no way if you're Japanese, you're Chinese, you know what I mean? Every nation will rise. And one of the things I would love to do is to help some of the white brethren who hail His Majesty to create their own ecosystem, because I think this is very important right now, that the message and the teachings of His Majesty penetrate into Europe for the young people, and it's coming from people that look like them, young youth, Ukraine, young youth, these youths are searching for something and they need one. So the white brethren and sisters who gravitate and whose Majesty called, I really feel it's their work to spread the teaching among the people of Europe, you know what I mean? And urgently, because the youths them are going to save the future. Generation Z is a different generation and they're searching. So now is a perfect time, you know what I mean? I am a black man, so I'm going to talk to my people. I see the problems my people have. I'm going to send to my people. My people need healing. And I have to answer that calling. Before I can go out to the branches and do anything, I have to ensure that my people feel comfortable, they feel seen, they feel loved, and they have a place where they know when they turn to this platform, they're going to see people that look like them, speaking from the root, from the heart. So that's how we move, you know what I mean? But affirming one thing is not negating the next thing. We love every nation, but we stay black, African, Pan-African. We're making that bridge. When the Pan-African family come over here and they see Rastafari, it's not no hippie bridge business over here. It's a root they call Rastafari. They're gonna say, you know what I mean? Same way. So that is it. So number one is we want to get to 50 people in the Patreon. When we get to 50 people, we are going to be giving a grant every month. We're going to have a vote in our town hall meeting, and we're going to give a micro grant to someone who's doing some positive work in the Rastafari or Pan-African community, and we'll try to interview them, and this will be part of our system. As the channel grows in strength, that grant, which will probably start at probably $100 US, that grant will grow and we will increase because I want to inculcate the concept of us moving capital to people, from the many, directing it to someone who's doing a work so that they can scale their operation, budget, and staff. I always say my dream is to have the guests come on and 50,000 people from the Lion Pride spend $10 with the guests, $500, $500,000 in that guest account in the morning. What could the Rastafari and Pan-African community do if every time they come on this platform, we are capitalizing from around the world, we're coming together and we're capitalizing someone who is a worker. Now we're going to shift creation, and it only costs a person $10, $40 a month. You put aside $40 a month because every Wednesday you're going to put $10 to a guest. That's the vision that we want for independent Rastafarian media. I may have to get to 1 million subscribers to get 50,000. I'm not looking at it unrealistically. But, this is one of the things that we're talking about in our town hall meeting is, even if we have a few, even if it starts with 10 brethren who are doing that, we're building that muscle. That's a muscle. It's just a mindset shift. We all can afford it. We can't afford no big money. We can't afford no big, out of the pocket thing. But every man can afford a $5, $10 to give to someone else who's doing a powerful work. It's just we don't do it. So that's the muscle that we're going to be building in 2026. And one day we're going to report here on this platform. One of the guests is going to call me and say, I woke up and I had 500,000 US in my account. Give thanks and pure Lion Pride hashtag. You know what I mean? So that's the vision for the platform. And we're going to do it, Lion Pride. Trust me. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right. Let me talk about number 2. Failure to success. We're going to demonstrate how to turn failure into success. As I said, I failed. I come January morning. We always set goals. We didn't reach the goal. I think we've stayed almost in the 40 in the Patreon for almost a whole year. But remember, people leave and people come. You know what I mean? So, but we've just kind of been plateau. And it's like that sometimes. So you become a failure. But remember, the only way you stay a failure is if you quit. You know what I mean? Failure is just a part of the journey. You know what I mean? You set a goal, you don't reach it, you reassess, you come again. So one of the things that we're going to be showing, especially for young brethren, because the fear of failure is one of the main things that stop most of the item from starting that project or that passion that the item have. And you know in your heart you want to do, but because of such and such, you don't start. You don't do the thing that you know the most I call you to do. You know what I mean? Because of that fear of failure. So I'm here as a sacrificial brethren, you know what I mean, to show in public that we shake off them thing there and we keep moving. You know what I mean? We keep on moving. We have a lot more achievements that we can talk about, but we don't shy from the failure. We acknowledge it. We're accountable to it. What did we do wrong? Obviously, the Patreon is not attractive. We have to try to do different things like a raffle, we try different things, you know what I mean? But we don't give up, you know what I mean? We bring in special guests, you know what I mean? We're going to do what we can to improve. So I don't blame my brethren and sisters and say, oh, them not support me and start bad mind my brethren and sisters because them not part of the Patreon. I have to look at myself or myself and see how I can make it better, more attractive. That is the mentality of someone who is treading Rastafari. His Majesty need many failures along the path of developing Ethiopia, where he set goals, and he says this in speeches. So I'm not coming out of pocket. If you read especially the New Year speeches, you always do an assessment, and he will talk about what they didn't achieve, and you know what I mean. You have to set because he's still working with humanity, and humanity lets it down a lot of times. But he's putting in the work that he has to do, and that is what we have to do as Rastafari. We can't get into this space of complaining about what never go for we. That's a loser mentality. No, we assess, we look at what we can do, how we can change, how we can augment, how we can get better, can we get more support, can we learn, you know what I mean, and we keep moving. So number two, we're going to turn failure to success. Number three for 2026, 2018 Ethiopian calendar, we're going to have more African voices. You saw Field Marshal Tauta was the latest. I just made a link with the Rastafari Society of Kenya. So we're going to have those brethren on Kenyan. And we haven't had any Kenyan, even though Kenyan is one of our most popular markets according to the analytics. We haven't had any Kenyans on. We're about to bust the seal with Kenya. Rastafari community, they're a big fight that they're having in the courts about ganja. So that's being arranged right now. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be just reasoning with more races who are living, born and raised on the continent. We know that the Caribbean full of a Rastafari. We've shown that. America full of a Rastafari. Canada full of a Rastafari. But the continental voices, we haven't heard much. There's a divide between the two sides. We want to make sure that everyone is hearing everyone else. It's one sound, one Rastafari, one niceness. You know what I mean? Lion Voice Network. So look out, more Africa voices and more focus on Africa. So more Pan-African voices as well. You saw we had the Virgin Akil Parker, a Pan-African mathematician on the platform. Look out for more voices like that. I'm a part of the Pan-African community in Washington, D.C. My youth go to a Pan-African school. I know only for Pan-Africans, you know what I mean? That's part of we live. So we're going to be bringing more of those voices. You saw Baba Wakesa, the warrior. He was a builder. I know a lot of the item love that. We're going to have more Pan-African elders, just more historians, more Pan-African content in 2026. So make the link. Number four, we're going to have more panel discussions. At least once a month, we're going to have a panel discussion on some topic. You know what I mean? You know, March is all Rastafari woman all month. And then we seal up with the Empress Men and panel. So look out, March, all Rastafari women all month on the panel. But we're going to have panels. We're looking to do a panel with ones in the Caribbean shortly. We're looking to do more Africa panels. So just look out for a lot more panels. Number five, we're going to be doing a lot more sponsorship of events. The Lion Voice Network is an official sponsor of the RMO webathon that's coming up on February 1st. We probably will be streaming it live on the platform as well. The RMO Hurricane Relief, Rebuild and Rise webathon. We'll have more details. It's going to be massive, biggest event ever planned collectively by Rastafari Media. Massive effort underway. We'll have more information on that shortly. We're one of the official media sponsors, one of the organizers as well. So look out for that. You know, more sponsorship. We want to sponsor more events, and that's the other thing. The stronger that we are financially, we can sponsor more Rastafari events. So all of the promoters out there, you should be supporting the platform. You know what I mean? $10 a month, $5 a month, because when we're big, you will be able to come to us to sponsor your event, you know what I mean? With a check, and also bring a film crew, you know what I mean? Because we need content. We'll need content always as a Rastafari media platform. So it's a win-win situation. And that's the part that a lot of people don't realize with Rastafari media, is that we're building an economic platform as well as an information platform. You know, Babylon TV survives by commercial ads. We're going to offer the same thing, but for our community products and services, because we're building the audience that will buy those products and services from the item. So it helps everyone to support, because then you know when you have a product, just like Frontline Books has come on board and they are selling books consistently through being on the platform, you can bring your business here and get those sales from your Rastafari Pan-African family, because they're seeing it. You can build a global brand. anywhere you go, people know about your product or service because you're advertising here, and then you're also helping to build a channel. So we're going to be doing more sponsorships of Rastafari events, hopefully being able to travel to some of them and capture them so we can showcase them. Number 6 is we want to do more travel and on-site interviews. I still have a whole treasure trove from Ghana that we are going to be unleashing. Again, just having to do all the editing, everything myself. It takes time, but look out. We have a whole heap of content from traveling, and we're going to do more traveling. I'm overdue for a trip to Jamaica, so I'll be going down to Jamaica most likely to take care of some business, my family business, different things. My youths them need to go to Jamaica to see them cousins. It's been a time, So look out for that in this year. We're gonna be doing more on site, on location, more traveling. Number 7 is we're going to be launching a GoFundMe after this webathon is done and the hurricane relief. I'm going to be launching a GoFundMe for Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, Volume 2. I need to go to Ethiopia to do some research. I'd love to go for about a month to the library, to the Adwa Museum. Volume 2 is going to be from 1893 up until His Majesty Crown of Dejazmatch. So I realize if I just leave it, and I may never get the chance to do the, or it might be years. Not that I would never get the chance, but it might be years. People are calling for this volume 2. A lot of the items I've read volume 1, and you're waiting and patiently, but I definitely want to get that process starting. So I will at some point be launching a GoFundMe to get the support so that I can just take the whole time, go to Ethiopia, seat up, do the research, and get volume 2 done. You know what I mean? So that the item can have that juicy sip. And I'm excited because it's going to include the Battle of Ottawa, the death of Ras McConnell. You know what I mean? The famous scene. If you read volume 1, the last chapter of volume 1, you would know how volume 2 are juicy when Dejazmatch leave Addis Ababa and the most powerful army in the realm behind them, and people are watching this little small youth and lead this powerful army, fulfilling the prophecy. They say a child shall lead the way, you know what I mean? So I can't wait to write volume 2, but I'm going to do a GoFundMe. We'll be putting together a budget, and the idea will be able to support that effort. Number 8 is we're going to try to get more Ethiopian elders, specifically ones who know His Majesty. A lot of the items love the interview we did with Prince Afsa Wilson, who was a teenager, elder now. But that generation of people who work for His Majesty, who were blessed by His Majesty, they're passing away rapidly, as well as the Rastafari elders. So I've been reaching out to my Ethiopian contacts to try to get as many Ethiopian elders as we can. This is the next reason why we want to travel, but if we can't travel, we'll get them through the internet. But look out for a lot more interviews with our Ethiopian family. We have to keep that link there and document that history. It's so powerful. Number 9 is more content on His Majesty, Emperor Selassie the First. I don't know if the item saw the episode we did when we did a reaction video to His Majesty visit to Germany. We're going to be doing a lot more of that. There's so much black and white footage online now about Haile Selassie visiting different countries. We're going to start going through those and doing reaction videos, researching, just to show the people the visuals. Because what I realize, a lot of people, when we talk about the emperor, you're thinking about your neighborhood leader down over. So you can't picture the scale. When we say the nations hail him, all people have to bow before him. People think it's just the rest them smoke too much herb, them under them chalice pipe. No, this is historical facts. Everywhere around the world, you will see the little school children waving. You see the high and the nobles bowing. You know, break them neck to just confront him and just bow before him. These things are documented. You know what I mean? It might come at a time when there was evidence, you know what I mean, to document the historical record. So we're going to be doing a lot more because part of the problem in the Rastafari movement, the Rastafari family, or the Rastafari nation is that you have so much characters who want to be the leader when Haile Selassie is the leader. You know what I mean? Unquestioned, uncountable. He is the focal point. He is the connective tissue. So we can't have a Rastafari Pan-African channel and we're not centering Haile Selassie the first. We're gonna also, though, speaking that, center some other African leaders. I'm a researcher on His Majesty, so I feel comfortable. But we're gonna identify people who can talk about Nkrumah, people who can talk about Lumumba, people, you know, experts, Pan-African experts and educators, so we can do deep dive and other great leaders. But look out for more content on Haile Selassie the first. You know what I mean? The must. And then, of course, number 10, we're going to keep on doing the geopolitics and the prophecy. You know what I mean? That is, I told the idea, part of what brought me into the movement as a young student, university student, going to the Naya Bingios and the elders watching the news, breaking down all of the occurrences according to the biblical prophecy, showing you where in Daniel it said this, where in Ezekiel it said that, where in Revelations you can see that, you know what I mean, and tying it together. And to this day, I have not seen any other ancient work or any other uh, doctrine that lays out prophecy as we find in the Hebrew scripture. And I mean, that's why we never leave it alone. And I came to the scripture through His Majesty teaching. And I mean, that's the only way I grew up in a religious background. I'm one of them youth that would just study His Majesty, and I've never been led astray. Because His Majesty says, don't limit yourself just to the Bible either. You know what I mean? His Majesty is very clear. Seek secular knowledge. You can read the Bhagavad Gita. You can read the Quran. You can read the the uh, the Sumerian text. You know, all of it. You know, take all of it because all of it has pieces of the anciency there. But for I and I part, I and I glory in the Bible, and I mean unapologetically as one of the sons of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the first. So we're gonna have more of that type of content, the geopolitics along with the biblical teaching, which leads us into the last 7 minutes of this broadcast. So we do have the iDoor study group to attend at 7. If you want to join, you can join our Patreon. Go to our Patreon page. You can become a free member. The Zoom link is posted there. And big up all the free members of the Patreon because at least we have your information. When you watch on YouTube, I don't have your email. If YouTube kick me off, that's it. The relationship gone. So it's always good to subscribe either through the website or through Patreon so that we have you. You can get the newsletter. We're going to be going on new platforms in the new year too. Creating new accounts. So just, as we get bigger, we have to diversify because you don't want to build this big, massive something and then you get a content strike on YouTube. YouTube tell you your thing pop down and you're done. So you have to be wise. So definitely join us on Patreon and subscribe over there. But the last thing, as I said, geopolitics and prophecy. So when we look at Venezuela now, the military buildup in the Caribbean would told any astute person who is knowledgeable that there had to be some type of action because the money being spent to maintain those battleship carrier groups in the Caribbean, you're talking about billions with a B, you know what I mean, of dollars being spent, hundreds of millions per day just to maintain the crew, you know what I mean, the ships, the gas, the this, the that. So once you see that type of military buildup, we knew that the invasion was coming, we had a panel here with Reginald Sister from Trinidad to talk about it. So this is not I'm on just a run the mouth. Just to show you we are watching the chessboard. So this morning at 2 a.m. in the morning, the United States invaded kinetic strikes, helicopter. It appears that they paid off the Ministry of Defense, and so because it don't look like Venezuela fire a shot, you know what I mean? Although Trump said a couple people were injured from the American side, but in terms of anti-aircraft, they had complete sky superiority, so people get paid off, you know what I mean? And they made mention of CIA, DEA joint operation. As attorney, I can tell you that this was a complete violation of international law. These type of actions only can be authorized by the U.S. Security Council, which this didn't go through the Security Council. From a U.S. constitutional part, you can declare war. They've had a blockade on Venezuela, which is an act of war. This can only be done with an act of Congress. So the United States is acting outside of the bounds of its own constitutional order. Everything is being done by executive order. And if you look at the Roman Empire in the late stages, Professor Jeffrey Sachs has a great interview. We talk about this, you know what I mean? Late stage of Rome, where you still have the Senate, but everything is being done by executive decree or royal decree. And I saw the place I run right now. So very interesting time to see America has stated that they will be running the country. The government is still in place, so we don't know the level of resistance, but we've seen this playbook 1,000 times, and we know it never ends up well. Whether there's going to be an internal resistance in the country, whether it's going to be some sabotage, something is going to take place. The people are not just going to roll over and accept America as their overlord. There'll be some skirmishes to the extent we don't know, but it's going to cost the U.S. and the military is going to be extended. So we're watching again the chessboard. What does this mean for Trinidad? Obviously, the threat from Venezuela was coming from Maduro himself. Said that if they invaded, they were going to strike Trinidad, which was a launch pad. I think the Trinidadian government came out and said they had nothing to do with this strike, that they were not involved. So we don't know. But, even if it's refugees, because now the government is not there, now that America is going to be taking the oil, we don't know how the population, if we use Iraq as a or Libya, two places where regime change policy was enacted, the people are suffering up to this day. You know what I mean? So it don't look good for the Venezuelan people. It don't look good for the region. We can call that part of the Caribbean because it's so close to Trinidad, the spillover. So again, and I'm going to seal up with this because we have the IDOR study group. Preparation, I cannot say this enough to the global family. We are in a phase of preparation. The international order is disintegrated. The order that was put in place with the blessing of His Imperial Majesty, the UN that he put his faith in, has been basically inert. It's the UN has ceased to function. The Security Council is not consulted before conflicts, and so we look on not with hopelessness, not with despair, but with cautious optimism that this signals the ending of an age and the rise of a new age. But within that, we cannot be naive. We have to prepare. The petty differences have to stop. Anybody you go around right now, if they're still on the petty difference, just remove yourself from them. Don't even try to convince them. Don't tell them not. Just remove yourself from them. Right now, a serious big people time. You know what I mean? All of the parents, them who have children, who care about the youth, them future. We have to be preparing. Most of the Caribbean depends on imports. How is that going to be impacted with military blockade, um, war? Threats are being sent to Colombia. Brazil is there. 'Cause remember, this is part of the larger war against BRICS, the G7 and BRICS. America says they're going to completely dominate the Western Hemisphere when BRICS has one of its nodes, multipolar nodes, in the Western Hemisphere, which is Brazil, a founding member. So automatically it sets up a conflict, sets up this global chess game. So, family, we're watching the situation. It's still early days. We'll bring some updates as we go along. This Wednesday, we have a special episode featuring Sister Carol and her daughter Nakiba. New album, new project, Earth Day, gathering Ethiopian Christmas with legendary reggae dancehall artist Sister Carol. So make sure you return on Wednesday. Make sure that you are staying safe out there as my global family. I love the item. I love all of my family them who support. Let me look at some of the comments here before we sign off. It's 7 o'clock. I got to go, but let me just look at some of the comments very quickly. South Africa calls for urgent UN meeting over US military action in Venezuela, violating the UN Charter. You see, and South Africa is what? Part of BRICS. So they're showing you Ross Roots with the big $20. And I don't want the item have Ross Roots so lonely. Ross Roots alone I give super chat on the episodes them. Match him, you know what I mean? Give a $10, $20. The super chat button is above the comment section. But big up yourself, Ross Roots, for all that you have done for the channel. Your energy is inspiring, you know what I mean? International crimes include genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and aggression. We're going to see where that goes. Two-star Marine General Medley Butler told us in the last century, U.S. big business had him invade 12 nations in CARICOM just for money, and the so-called banana wars, including the Philippines, Haiti, and Venezuela. Smutly Butler, War is a Racket, famous work. Big up yourself. That's our elder Johnny Johnson. I would love to see more content being published on a polished Rastafari. More content on being a polished Rastafari. Okay, yeah, man, we will do that. We will do that. And again, grassroots. The example is His Majesty. That's the most polished you can get there. General Smalley Butler was an economic hitman for the U.S. Armed Forces and the USA big business. Yes, and that's why you have to love the Lion Pride. We have one of the best comment section. Beer high level, high frequency vibration in the comments. Big up on yourself. Trump just gave the green light to Putin to capture Zelensky. It's possible, but I'll tell you, I don't think the Russians want to capture Zelensky because Zelensky makes so much mistakes. It's like a Christmas gift for the Russians. Grand Rising family, big up yourself, Bongo Wisely. Wishing all bright and prosperous 2026. Big up yourself, Bongo Wisely. The I is also one of our great elders who inspire I and I, you know. Big up yourself. General Sadler wrote the great book War is a Racket. Yes. He was a white Quaker born military genius who exposed U.S. greed, dominance, invasion of poor brown and black nations globally for pure profit. War is a business. I said it on this platform, just like we are trying to build heaven on earth. Babylon has found a way to build hell on earth and found a way to monetize it. You know, everything that's going on now has been monetized. And this is why we got to find the economy of righteousness. Yes, you can be righteous, but how do we employ ourselves full-time in righteousness so we don't have to go into their system and then we're doing what we want to do on the side? We have to break free of those chains, you know what I mean? And the only way we do that is to find the economic of righteousness. It's 2026 and 55 black nations in Africa, 30 in the CARICOM nations, 77 million FBA in USA, but none of us have a permanent seat at the United Nations General Assembly, but Negroes butt dancing in NYC. It's rough and rugged. And the UN, the UN right now is not functioning, but it needs massive reform if it's to be the instrument, you know what I mean? Ram, pam, 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 boom. My suggestion for your vision would be to shorten your opening branding section, short and sweet snippets, especially if you are going to be doing in-depth, long-form discussions. And we're going to play around with that. That long beginning is intentional. We give ourselves space. A lot of time we're dealing with guests and things. So that's very intentionally put there, that long intro. And it has saved us many times where, dealing with Caribbean, sometimes the timeliness or sometimes Wi-Fi issues we're trying to sort out right to the last moment. But we are definitely, and one of the things that we're going to be doing is a lot of that's going to be put on the Patreon, and we're going to have shorter, more concise videos that are shared to the public that won't have the long intro. The long intro will still be there for the live, but for the recap videos, we'll take away that long intro. Big up the item for being patient. And you come to a Rastafari gathering, we're not jumping into anything. But point well taken. We love the suggestions. Denise Richardson, blessings, my sister. Please send us a video of the book you got from Frontline Books. We want to see the joy and share with the family. Greetings and blessings from St. Croix checking in. Big up all the St. Croix family. To shorten your opening branding section on YouTube, consider the following tips. Be concise, use engaging thumbnails, define your brand, identity, maintain consistency, focus on value, etc. You sound like you know what you're talking about, ram pam 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 boom. Eh? You sound like you know what you're talking about. Most of the other Rastafari channels on YouTube are very unprofessional marketing with oversaturation of shoddy visuals. Ram pam 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 pam, I'm shouting at the comments. Is the eye still on the motherland continent? No, I'm forward in America right now. Clean up your thumbnails, less busy, more crispy bling. Ram pam 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 pam, I'm shouting at the comments. You know him at that about. Think about how No Limit album covers formula changed the game with marketing. Do a competitor research of successful channels and find your own style for your niche. Ram pa pa pam pam a shot. Less time asking for donation. Keep your pitch short and pitchy but consistent. Okay, ram pa pa pam pam a shot. In the comments, I love it. Greetings, Rastafari faithful. Keep doing long form content, but keep chopping up the original live stream to smaller segments and shorts. Not as a replacement. We do that. Ram pa pa pam pam. I'm glad to know that we do that. The shorts have been coming out consistently. The items supposed to be seen the shorts. Those are the suggestions for your vision. Keep on keeping on, brethren. Blessed love. Ram pa pa pam pam. We love the iron, man. We love that. We love that. Resilience is being versatile in all dimensions. Couple more comments and then we have to go. We're late. Kwasi bait and switch us with the W3 title and hit us with a business meeting. This is like joining a secret society. You think you're getting esoteric and they hit you with dues and administrative votes. Ha ha ha. Well, you know what I mean? I love the high vibes, ram pam 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 pam. We have to sustain, as Rastafari family, we've been having reasonings for decades, you know what I mean? So we're not short of the reasoning on the World War III talk, you know what I mean? But in terms of sustaining a platform, but your point is well taken. We're going to shorten it. We're going to refine the thing moving forward. Ram pam 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 boom. We love it. We love it. Fire, we say. Um, President Donald Trump is definitely defiant with even the courts of the USA. Observing Brother Marcus Garvey's strategy, he overcame petty prejudice by accepting all Africans with common goals. Yes, we love the eye. Just hold you tight. Yes, I ram pa pa pam pam. But everything the I say ram pa pa pam pam boom was solid. You know what I mean? As a person who does creative consultation, I would say the same thing. And sometimes we're the worst clients to have is when you deal with it, you know. But everything the I say, you know, was on point and consistent with best practices, you know what I mean, in the industry. Our niche is hard though, ram pam 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 boom. I tell you, to deal with the roots of this movement, Rastafari, we're hard. So we're trying everything, but we're gonna refine it moving forward. And we're not gonna stop because we are the generation of them that seek the most high faith. This year is gonna be a year with the kinetic war, the violence is gonna be ramping up all over the war. It's getting hotter. The colonialists are feeling it. The nations want their resources. The people are waking up. So we're set for an epic collision course in this World War III Armageddon struggle. And so we definitely need to be telling our own story in the midst. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the lion's voice.
Speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Blessed love, this is Rashala representing for the Lion's Voice. Seeing? Yeah, man. Keep it locked right here, sir. On to Zion we go. Lion voice don't move slow, no. Rastafari rules and reigns, and we're going where the blessings flow. Keep it locked right here, sir. Seeing? Rashala said that. Lion's Voice.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Greetings, this is Junior Morgan of Bob Marley and the Wailers. The time has come for the lion to tell his story. And we have here the lion voice. So listen in and get nourishment for the stomach and for the head cup. Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari. Give thanks.
Give thanks and praise every time.
Great honor, great honor.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
It's AWTITUDE representing for Lion's Voice. Yes, massive. This is the time for I and I, the lion them to tell I and I story, our story. Yes, and we reign and rule like this. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, I reign and rule. You can't take the lion vibes, people. If you no fool, cause we know Selassie reign and rule. Reign and rule. Selassie, I reign and rule. Queen Omega drop them in the fire, pull from them and no queen Queen Omega, she reign and rule. Royal Kushite, ancient essence, Emperor Selassie in a majestical presence, clash of all sevens, projecting through I events. We sing a song for the king, we bring joy and blessing and understanding, yeah. We hear Jah every day. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, reign and rule. Yes, I Lion vibes, Selassie, reign and rule. Attitude say that. Boondocks, Black Organization of Noble Diplomats optimizing expressions to the world. Till the world, till the end.
Well, Lion Vice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Vice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Vice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Vice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Vice.
Yeah. Rastafari. Emperor Selassie the first.